Hey everyone, hi, and thank you for having me, and thank you to the first two talks. You've explained DAOs, brilliant, I don't need to do that. You've explained collectibles, awesome, so I can just keep on. I could have talked about quite a few things. I went with gaming because that's what I do at the moment and have been for quite a while. So I was actually at a very early event here in just before COVID lockdown, and there was probably not a lot of people here who attended that event. And Andy, who hosted it, asked if anyone had a blockchain wallet, and I was the only person who put my hand up. Times have changed, to say the least here. I feel very lucky to be where I am. I basically turned a hobby into a job. I'm a trained pharmacist in the UK and played games all my life, and I now play games for a living, and that's pretty cool. I was handing out medications to methadone addicts on a daily basis, and now I play games for a living. Yeah, so I currently work for a company called YGG, Yield Guild Games, who have helped me with some of the graphics in this. Up at the top is my avatar, my main avatar from the operator, my hyper hooligan, and obviously myself. And outside of gaming, I'm just a complete collectible idiot who loves anything. I don't sell a lot, so my OpenSea account is crazy. It's just got so much in it, it's unbelievable. Outside of that, I'm also an angel investor in Web3 tech in Manchester recently, so there's a couple of companies I've invested in are actually attending here to see this. So anyway, I tend to ramble, and I've been rambling, so let's get on with what I'm doing. So really quickly, my gaming before Web3. Can anyone tell me the person in the top left? Spectrum with the rubber keys, I think. It may be the wrong picture if it's not, but anyway. I was gaming in the 80s basically, so I went Spectrum, Commodore, Amiga, Game Boy, all the handhelds, early PlayStation, Dreamcast. I went to uni in 98 to 2002, blew my entire student loan on the launch of the PlayStation 2. With 4 controllers, I think, or 2 controllers, all the games. We had the most amazing house in the university for about 3 months. Everybody loved us. It was a cool time, actually. And really quickly, I then moved on to playing a whole lot of different games. StarCraft was the main one I played, StarCraft 2. And I was watching an esports event in 2013, prize pool of 12 Bitcoins, and that's how I found crypto. And Aniwa, a Swedish player, beat Scarlett. I think he won 11 Bitcoins for that, which is wild to think. I put Clash there, myself and my wife, who's here, to Serpon. We got married in 2014. Promised that I would move away from gaming all the time on PC. I did for a little bit, and then got addicted to Clash of Clans. And so addicted, ran 5 different guilds, massive war players, spent more time on GroupMe, Line, everything else. And I put up my Discord there, because if anyone knows anything about Discord, I'm as OG as you can get. October the 8th, 2015 is my Discord account. If anyone has an older Discord account than that, message me and I'll send you a cool NFT. Because there's not going to be a lot of you. I already know that, because that's OG as anything. So, just very quickly, who had their first NFT in 2017? 18? 19? 2020? 21? 22? 23? And 24. Okay, that's pretty cool. So, I was very fortunate. I stumbled across things, as I tend to do. I stumble across things all the time, and I say I get lucky a lot, and I kind of do get lucky a lot. CryptoKitties, I stumbled across it. I still don't know how. I think I was playing around with MetaMask. I still have no idea how I stumbled across CryptoKitties. It's basically a breed some cats collectible. Didn't really do much. Millions of them were printed massive over inflation, but it was pretty cool at the time. It's suborned Axie Infinity. The co-founders of Axie all met in CryptoKitties. I know Psychout quite well. I know Jiho quite well because I was around at the time. So I was aware of Axie, but again, I was never really that interested in it. It's not my kind of game. And I was never into Pokemon. I was too old, I think, for Pokemon, to be very honest. But this one in the middle was something definitely my game. Dope Raider. Dope Raider was my first proper NFT game when I was like, this is cool as anything. Pretty much on chain. It's a really old game actually, from July, August 2018. You traveled around this little world, all on chain, so it was all from transactions having to do, raided other people, you raided them for their coke and for their weed, and you grew weed, and brilliant, absolutely genius. And honestly, the Operator and Everdragons is the one to the right, were so ahead of their time, so early, and such great tech, but there was just hardly anyone there. Like, it was hardly anyone doing it. The Operator was one of the first, if not the first, cross-chain NFT, because they launched on ETH and then they went to POA chain, which is now Gnosis. So it's now Gnosis chain. It's not even POA anymore. And Everdragons was, you were able to move your Everdragon from ETH to Tron to POA and all the way around there again. Such early tech in 2018. And again, I own loads of these things. Each of them crashed because they just ran out of money. The Dope Raider, about 2 years later, I went back to the devs and I now own the entire tech stack for Dope Raider with a friend of mine. So I actually own Dope Raider now. We may be relaunching it. So if anyone's into building games, absolutely, I need people to come and do it. I don't know anything about how to build games. I can just play them. So I need people to help me build it. 2019, 2020, again. I don't know why. NFTs just connected to me, especially from a collectible point of view. What you were saying is such, and I just love the fact. And even if I didn't know why, I'd come from spending too much on Clash of Clans to confess to my wife in front of about 150 people here how much I spent on Clash of Clans. And again, please don't tell anyone, but again, this is being recorded on YouTube, so I was going to see. I was trading accounts in Clash accounts. I was buying and selling accounts and selling my own accounts and stuff. Again, against terms of service. So it really caught to me what it was meant to be, so the ownership level. And you can see how crazy I was. This is a Crypto 7 Base Commander CSC. That says 2,489 hours I played just on Steam alone in 2019, 2020, when there's probably about 100 people playing this game. And that was just on Steam. That wasn't on the other versions which they had prior to that. Again, that almost tried to relaunch and has now failed again. But anyway, this happens often in gaming, it seems. It's really hard to see this. This is a game called Crypto Assault. This is a tweet I made. Again, quite cool concept, like a MMO, everything's NFTs. You move your thing around, your NFTs around, your mechs, your tanks and this sort of stuff. And they satellite landed with a load of ETH every so often. And I only owned about 1% of the NFTs this time, and people had like huge whales and loads, and they were so annoying at me because I didn't own a lot, and I won the first ETH amount, and that was 7 point something ETH I won for that, which wasn't a lot because it was about $100 each at that time, which again is a bit weird. War Riders in the middle, again, early NFTs, far too early. It's still going, but not really doing very well. But then there's Axie. Axie was the unicorn. And there's a number of reasons why. Again, this could take so long, and I'll try not to ramble too much. But it was, if he wasn't around, it was just mania is the only word I can use. Utter mania, what Axie was at the hype. It was almost a perfect cycle of people coming in. Everyone was making money at the same time, which was almost impossible. We all knew it was never going to last, but it was just such a cycle. People were coming in. There were people like me, the OGs, were breeding constantly, using up all the tokens we could, just to breed and breed and breed and breed, and then we were selling them to people. We're making teams, hiring them out to people, and this, especially in countries of like the Philippines and Brazil, low economic countries, they were able to earn more than the average daily wage. And again, there's so many reasons why, but like at its peak, it hit 2.8 million daily active users. I'd probably say that probably should mean active accounts. Lots of multi-accounting happened as well, including me. 1.5 million registered players. Again, hard to say, this is some facts I got, but they were the first Discord to hit the maximum amount of people out of all games in the world. They hit the peak of 700,000 people and had to get it extended. That just shows what Axie was. It was larger than any game at that point. The numbers are just astronomical. $4 billion were transacted in 2021 alone. The highest transaction volume of a single was 1 billion. Again, unbelievable. And you can see why Sky Mavis, the company, is still around. Even if they got hacked for God knows what the hack was on the bridge, I think it was like 550 million. And they're still around because they earned so much, they got so much investment, and they've now launched Ronin Chain, other games are coming to them, and there's just so much happening there. And I put the Philippines in here, and it's very important to me personally because my company, who I now do a lot of work for, contracted for, is Yale Games, who really pioneered the play-to-earn movement at the time. And it's not a very good term, and obviously it was not great, but it did so much good for what it was. And essentially what we did was we owned hundreds of thousands of NFTs, we put them into little teams, and then we hired them out to people. The players played, they got 70%, the people who ran the accounts got 20%, and the YGG got 10%. Essentially, we just reinvested everything into more teams and more axes and more axes and more axes, and a massive flywheel through there. But as we progressed, YGG is by far the largest Web3 gaming guild. 455k community size, it's larger than that now. NFT holders, 270k, 9 regional guild partners across the entire world now, especially in like all of GG in Latam. Sky GG is really popular at the moment, and so is YGG Japan. YGG Japan and ourselves are partners with Sega, Square Enix, and the Oasis blockchain, and with validator nodes for Oasis over there. Loads coming for us, and I've just kind of, it's not a shill of YGG, but it's just to show where we are. For the last 2 years, I've been a part of the investment team at YGG, doing a lot of analyst work on games, investments we ran, partnerships we ran. I'm quite valuable to them because my nature was so early into NFT, and I love degenning into things all the time. So I like finding little gems everywhere. This past year, myself and a colleague, we went massive deep dive on undervalued assets and made some very strategic purchases for YGG. The biggest one by far is Parallel. We saw what it could be, and the token prime was took off like no tomorrow, and the avatars which we invested in are massive. But you can see like Navy just launched, there's Illuvium, Magpie Hooligans launching this token this month, Avagotchi big time. So these are all our partners, which is there. So how to end it? The future for Web3 gaming, and I've kind of put a lot of questions here just because it's important to me, and this is why I tend to ask a lot of teams who are making it who are approaches for investments. Is like, why are you doing it on blockchain? What is it bringing to the gamers? What problems are you trying to solve? And how do you blend the core mechanics with the blockchain tech and the legal frameworks to benefit the community? Just a couple of examples. EVE Online, CCP Games have got Project Awakening. They are, and Hilmar is awesome to talk to about this. Their vision is they're using blockchain as their entire tech stack. They're just literally replacing. They see it as a long term for everything. So this is why it is. Haldar is a bit more underground. I've known Ash for quite a while. This CEO, he is in Manchester as well. He's not able to come tonight, but I'll bring him along. And he's such a great thought leader in this, in all this. And Holdara Infinite Realm is an expression of the IP controlled by the Holdara Association, a true digital nation. And I asked him, what does that mean? And he said, it's to be a fully player-driven narrative and true player-to-player economy that is on chain to an extent that it makes sense. It's not about the ownership, it's about the meaningful utility to the gamers. Ownership is just one of the many things that in that regard. And he's trying to solve the grey markets that have existed in games throughout all of gaming. Like there's been farming gold, selling things illegally, just like I was in Clash of Clans and everything else. And finally, I just put AI, because everyone talks about AI, so it's kind of how it is. But if you haven't seen it, Parallel Colony, we're very bullish on. You need to see what they're making. There's a great video on YouTube, what Parallel Colony is. Imagine your own NFT, which is called an agent, and you literally, it's playing the game constantly with all the other agents, and you log in and you talk to your agent, and it's learned what it's done, and you say, okay, I want you to go off and do this all day, okay, and you go off and you come back. You find out it's been making shady deals with other AIs and this sort of stuff. It's absolutely wild what they've got going on. Hyper Hooligan, massive fan of them. They've got really cool AI tech. And today the game again is a bit under the radar, but is one to be watching out for with all that sort of stuff. That's about it.